Hello and good evening. Guess we're just here. I don't have much of an intro. I should probably think about that at some point. Nah, I'm just here to play some Power Wash Sim. I know it's a late night, technically. A late night Saturday evening, Sunday evening. But yeah, let's just wash some boards and, I don't know, relax. It is a good game. Perfect game for a day like today. Yes, very much so. Just hop straight over there. No waiting. Warm in here. Maybe I should just take the hood off. I kind of started the dinosaur playground place last time. I'm just gonna leave the music on for this one. It's a very quiet game where you don't do much else but wash and, I don't know, read text messages sometimes. I kind of want to do the ground part, or what's it called, the large floor. Maybe I should just continue with this house part here. And this week's been kind of hectic, and I'm not even done with, what's it called, job management thing. So I even have a little bit of that next week coming up. So I might actually just wait with posting the schedule until Monday is over. There probably won't be a Monday stream anyway, so I can get away with that. Yeah. I did have something else lined up for this week, but it's been pushed back on account of a friend not having the time, or rather his schedule changed, so I changed mine as well. And yeah, so that's been moved, unfortunately. We were going to play Deep Rock Galactic together, and it was going to be his first time, but he'll have his first time on a different time now. But that's just how it happens, how it is. You know. Either way, I hope you've had a good week. Mine's been a little bit hectic, but what can I say about it? Yeah. I'd say this playground is quite a wash with adventures. I don't think I ever experienced having a playground area washed during my youth in the human world, so to speak. It's all been, I'll just one phrase it, wildlife adventure, kind of. I have been thinking of playing one of my what's it called, childhood favorites, youth favorites, I suppose is a better name for it. Game called Star Fox 64, unlike the Nintendo 64. Hey Fobo, water. Is this a water gun fight now? No, it's a water gun washer. What's you doing? Sorry, that was a bad one. Do you prefer football or farball when pronouncing your name, by the way? Oh, you know, I'm just up to watching, you know, some anime and playing some video games with water in them. How about you? I don't know. I've been like watching weekly anime for a while, like keeping up with what's new, but like only the ones that sort of pique my interest. And for some reason, Chainsaw Man and My Hero Aka is just, I like, you know, I watch them, but they're like, you know, not the weekly highlight. But the one with the tiny cat girl and the big sword is like, you know, the one I storm out to watch every week, because for some reason that show is really doing it for me. I don't know, maybe I just, well, like that kind of thing. That's hard. We figure that out later on. You've been writing all day about how to operate a machine for your coworker. Okay. I guess we haven't figured out how to pronounce your name then. You'll be Fowable. I should talk about the... Talk to Oku about anime and manga. Okay. You're referring to one in the, what's it called? Well, to someone in the Danish VTuber community. Fortunately, I'm not very active. I should be. But I have a tendency to just, you know, Discords and forums where a lot of people gather, I tend to just sort of zone out of the group and not really, you know, look at it. It becomes a bit hard for me for some reason when there are a lot of people in one place. So I am not up to date about the whole thing. Unfortunately, I should be. Like really, I think, I'm looking for buttons here. I should be. I know, but I'm not. That's the wrong button. Gaming. There we go. So yeah. I have been trying to engage with more, what's it called, Danish VTubers, because I want to engage with, you know, the Danish VTubers more. Just a little hard to sort of, you know, break the ice and feel comfortable about it. I know that feeling, but there's a lot of nice people. There's a lot of nice people there. Ryan reminds me that you asked Avatar about having a Necropolis night. I have no idea what Necropolis is. I live under a rock, Forbo. I have no idea what Necropolis is. What is Necropolis? Explain it to me. But it's old. I mean, I know what a dwarf fortress is. I know what a Dungeons and Dragons is. I know what a Dungeon Siege is. I know what Super Mario, the one on the Super Nintendo. But I have no idea what the heck a Necropolis is. Take me to Dungeon Mayhem. Thank you, please, very much. I'll play Dungeon Mayhem for 75 hours, and it's such a simple game. Automod! Automod! Let's see. I'll just allow it. It's just a random generated dungeon where union mates shall fight through, but it's more like a bastard child of roguelike and souls-like. It's the 104th time you've got caught. Well, congratulations! You win! Samus Aran. Pikachu. What did you win? A Samus Aran, apparently. Whatever that is. All Amazonian can kick your butt if you say something wrong. I don't know how you won her, but congratulations. Either that or it was Smash Brothers. Super Smash Brothers! Melee! You just wanted a slice of cake. Slice of pancake, perhaps? No. Okay. Going back to gaming. I am fumbling my buttons. I should make more buttons. More buttons that do the same thing in places where they need to be because I need to do things. Waffles are better than pancakes? I don't know. I have a thing for, you know, Danish pancakes. And, you know, having different, you know, things inside the different pancakes. So you have them rolled up in like a stack and you just, you know, fork one. And then you know, eat the different pancakes with different stuff inside. For some reason, the weird, what do you call it, chocolate cream and strawberry jam is really, really good. I don't know why. Especially when it's in a rolled up pancake right next to one with syrup. It's just somehow perfect combination, and especially because Danish pancakes are so skinny, you can eat so many of them. It's incredible. And Danish pancakes are really thin and weird texture for you. You rather have fluffy American ones? I mean, I can see that. I do also like American pancakes, but they're more like, how do you put it? Put them next to, what's it called? Sausages and bacon. Make, you know, a combi breakfast brunch thing out of it, where you have pancakes and so you have some salty stuff, and you have the syrup and butter on the other side. But like, that's also kind of one of the things you shouldn't eat regularly, because it's just death in a meal. It's just plain murder. Am I talking pancake nonsense here? Is that what my brain is? Pancake? I don't know. I think I need to wash it out. Did we get him? No. Okay. Just thinking about buns. You like big buns, and you cannot. You like big buns and you cannot lie? Is that what you're trying to say? Smilers, for some reason, messed up the stream. Nope. I need to recalibrate. Just hold on a second, stream here. Didn't save me. I know sometimes the weird math. You're eating popcorn to my inability to smile correctly because the math doesn't calculate my face correctly. Is that it, Pichu? Go back to gaming. You don't complain about the big face. Hey, Baka, and welcome. What's you doing? And thank you for the water. There's water. I cannot zoom in on the water, but I can do something else. Yeah, we washing. Just give me a second. VTube Studio, come over here. This is... much better. I'm missing, am I? No, I'm back to gaming. I'm gonna just drink some water from my handy dandy bottle instead of trying to get it from the... Don't try drinking directly from a power washer unless you're a stone dragon. Because I can withstand the pressure. You probably can't. As a human. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to open my bottle. There we go. So what are you up to today, Baka? How are you? Doing some daily gacha stuff. I imagine Genshin Impact. That game, you're hooked on that. How is... I've been thinking about taking a bit of a look at it. See if I can salvage my old account from way back when it launched. How is it treating you? Have you got any good polls? And when I say good polls, just tell me about the tier characters you've gotten, not exactly what characters they are, because I have no clue about what a Genshin character is anymore. There was the new one, Nahida. I don't even know if she's any good as a character, but her stories seemed dope though. Though I'm not, only engaged with it a little bit over on a friend's stream. I need to find time to actually play some of that. Kinda wanna finish Bayonetta 3 first though. So I did also have some Ghost Runner lined up that I wanted to play. Might unpack that next week. One might say that Baka has got gotcha'd. We gotcha him. I gotcha. I swear there's an end to these puns someday. Oh, almost. gaming again. I need to also play some Splatoon. I haven't played Splatoon 3 in a while. I didn't even join the Splatfest for Pokemon. I do want to play the big run mode eventually, whenever it comes out, but I haven't heard anything aside from the name and that it's going to be a big mode. That is about it. I just pull out Splatoon and do nothing but salmon run for an entire stream, because salmon run is like my favorite mode. Get all the salmon, cook him, eat him. They good food. Very fishy. Very grilled. I do wish I had a more dedicated team for salmon run though. Was it really good? I'm a dirty plague. Cola Dragon coming in here with the euphemisms. That was quick. Just stream went from semi-normal, not normal, semi-innocent, semi-regular to just completely lewd. Good job, Cola. It only took you one comment. I'm just kidding. How are you doing today, Cola? And how are you and your wife and your gizmo doing? You've practiced all day. Well, you know what they say. Practice does make perfect dragon. It does drag on for quite a while. Doing pretty good. Pretty sleepy in your bed. You've been editing pretty much all day, except when you were sleeping. Editing? I'm getting into making highlight videos now. Highlight videos of your own stream. Or perhaps you're doing something else. Baby's doing good. Good to hear it. And Gizmo is... He's a Gizmo? Well, I hope he's not Gizmo Duck. Oh, it started an raid clip. I see. That's the wrong button. There we go. Very nice. I have been polishing a few, what do you call it? What is it even called? I've been polishing a few clips to put on YouTube for the YouTube channel. So I might start uploading them and putting them in a schedule kind of thing. It's pretty much been sleeping. Was out playing in the snow. Oh, you've had snow. We've had snow here as well already. Most of it is kind of gone already because, you know, salting the earth like a dead night. But yeah. And yes, that is a Final Fantasy XIV Dead Knight skill called Salt the Earth, I believe. Which is like, I mean, Dead Knight is kind of like a tank, so it is a tank skill. Yep. I really hope that we don't get more snow, because I'm not a big fan of snow. I know a lot of people is like, oh, snow, so romantic, so playful, so now the children have something to do. It's hacking cold and annoying to shuffle. Shovel? Every day with snow shuffling, just on the playlist, up and down. No end. Cold then wet. You really don't like rain? I think I prefer rain to snow. It's simply easier to deal with. And I feel like almost regardless of the situation, I can nearly always dress better for rain than I can for snow. Yes, snow makes stuff brighter. Cola has a point in the Camp Rio, in the Rio camp. Oh, snow! Would you look at that? It's been like maybe a week since you played Genshin. Let know what you pull once you lock in. Okay, good luck with your pulls. I hope you get something good. I haven't looked at the character charts in like a long while, but I believe they've also diversified how things work, so you don't just make a team of straight S tier characters anymore now, which is good. But at the same time, I was already, when I was playing Genshin, I wasn't even going for good characters. I just wanted to make a very, very specific team that I know had no right of being good at all. And in case you're wondering, it's the small schoolgirls team, yes, that I was trying to make. Why would I not want to make that? Small and cute is best. Always. Always. Oop. Also, I renamed my bot, so instead of the old Ultra AI, it is now just Ryubot, or Ishibot, I think. Oh, it is Ishibot, I can see it right there. Don't worry, he's the butt. You do remember you didn't make any wishes of any kind aside from maybe like 23 Vs you got from the permanent banner, okay? So you can get freebies and no vice banner. They're like 3 polls, I take it then. With, I imagine, a limited set of characters. Kind of why I've been wondering if salvaging my old account, if I want to play Genshin again, if that's even worth it, because starting a new one I might get some better polls. And it would give me an excuse to, you know, experience the story again, making a new account. So I would say I don't remember the story, at least the first chapter, as one that I would say was particularly good. I didn't manage to play the second chapter though. have no idea about sound balancing. So I hope it's good. But I pulled it back a little now. Sound balancing is both video editing and broadcasting. Yeah, but it's a little more malleable, I feel, for broadcasting. Especially if you got yourself, you know, a mixer. A mixer really helps with sound balancing if you can get one. If you can't get one, you should get one of the free ones that work through software. They are really, really good. Just helping establishing better sound bases. I should be using my, what do you call it, my mic monitor more, but I just can't listen to my own voice. It just, at the same time, my whole brain just goes, wait, what was that? Keep listening for it. And then I say something again, and then it just stops every single progress. So that's why I don't actually use my mouse, my mic monitor, even though I should. So I don't use my mic monitor. If you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say mic monitor, it is basically broadcasting your own, what's it called, mic recording input into your own headphones. And because you can hear how loud your own sound is or your own voice is, you can better balance that against, what's it called, the sound you hear and the music you hear, so that you know how the whole setup sounds when you're actually, you know, listening to it. But like I said, my whole brain just stops dead in its tracks whenever I hear my own voice, and I just can't think anymore, so I don't. And I think maybe that's kind of common. It's really common to stop talking when there's a delay in the monitoring. Okay? I mean, for me it happens even, I mean, you can't get away. There is nothing as, or like, there's no such thing as zero delay monitoring, because there will always be something between you and you know, the audio coming through. But you can get really close with what's it called, a hardware-based monitor. Most what do you call them, audio devices will have an hardware, not most audio devices, but most amps and transistors are, you know, capable of audio monitoring. If you buy a sound mixer for your stream, you definitely also will be getting a sound monitor, hardware based, included. I'm just polite, and your 0.sec past talk. What? Just polite and want my 0.1 second past self to talk first. Maybe? I don't know. Mayhaps. aside from freebie character, you now have Noel Ni Guyang? I'm not sure. And Seiyu. Say, she's a voice actor. Seiyu. Oh wait, that's not what I voice said. Never mind. I thought there was a joke here, but I don't know Japanese well enough to make it, so I'm just gonna not. Okay, only one of those characters I actually remember or know, and that's Noelle. She's apparently a really good tank character. Simply because of her shield that you can kind of enable and just throw on someone else. And then it lasts for a while, but like it's based on, you know, Noelle's tank stat or her health stat, I can't remember. So building for having a long one on that on her is really good. I really like Noelle design wise, but she was, you know, a normal sized person, not able to be part of the tiny gold squad, so out with her. Well, I did use her for quite a while, but I think what's it called, Ninguya. I'm not even sure if you're supposed to pronounce the G's that way. I think she was like a new character that released right when I stopped, if I remember correctly, or maybe she was already out. I can't remember. Too much digging around. But we'll see if I remember to salvage that Genshin account and then decide what I'm gonna do with it. Or if I'm just gonna make a new one. Maybe I'm just lazy and I will forget to salvage the account. So I've been thinking about something I want to do for stream, and that's make a monthly text-to-speech day. But basically there's gonna be a cheap text-to-speech redeem, like once a month, and then on regular streams it can be semi-expensive, I guess, just for fun. I imagine I don't wanna. I wanna try not having sounded alerts. I have this kind of issue, I guess, I suppose, where I'm kind of sensitive to sounds that are, you know, surprising or sudden or things like that. Like if I'm not ready for sound happening, it is something that will actively impact my mood and my feelings and my want of doing things, I guess you could say. Which is why I have not yet applied any sound alerts to follower stuff and raids and things like those. I do also feel like it's more organic to, you know, just react as myself. I did make, what do you call it, animation kind of stuff for the alerts. So I think for now we'll just go with nice and quiet, but something visual that pops up every time. But I do wanna do one day where I like have, you know, a day where you can, for cheap, just go ham on using TTS and basically make TTS the fun thing that happens that one day a month. You like that? Thank you. Thank you. Again, I'm looking for more buttons. I still need to get used to this, or maybe I need to just simplify it, but thank you. I'm glad you like the idea. I haven't thought about what day a month, if it should be like at the beginning of the month or the what do you call it, the end of the month. I need to sort of solidify the plan, so to speak. And then we can just go ham with that. I guess maybe I should pick something that's not, how do you call it, an activity or a game that's not super story focused or story driven. I thought about a name for it, like, you think the TTS should be more regular, but the no sound alerts, you're a fan of that. Okay. I guess we're just keeping it like that. No sound alerts. For now, then. As the approach we will follow going forward. I mean, I understand why people like it. I understand why people think it is fun. But at the same time, I personally don't like come to a stream and then it's just nothing but sound alerts and sound alerts and sound alerts to no end. That is kind of a little bit annoying and kind of harsh on my own sort of personal condition. Like, I want to make the TTS not be something that's 100% unique, just something that's how do you put it, something that you can do on a daily basis, but it's gonna be expensive, and then make the whole once a month it's super cheap. Like, it's text to speech Tuesday, the TTS day, or whatever you want to call it. TTS day. This day. Or something like that. You agree the same with SFX redeems? Like, I can see, I can definitely see them be funny when they're used sparingly. But like I said, often they sort of, you know, they hit me right in the face in an uncomfortable way. And I'm not saying that anyone should stop doing this, because it's definitely, you know, a popular thing that streamers do. And I definitely think that there definitely should be streamers that does sound effects as a service. Because it can be, you know, fun community-wise, because it lets the community impact, you know, the stream that is happening. It's just the fact that it kind of, you know, affects me negatively. people should do what they want for their streams, broadcasts. It's more the term you do you. Definitely. It's just, I see that it is the popular option, and I see it's what people like to have and like to do. And I just want to, you know, put it out there that I do recognize that it is the valid and popular option that people choose. And that I have nothing against people choosing to do that, so to speak. Yeah, it was just a thought potato I thought I'd bring forward. A thought lalafell stuck in my brain. Teleport. I love that you can just teleport equipment in this game. It is such a weird feature for what's it called, Mr. For Mr. Power Wash Man to have. But he has it. And yeah, I know it's not an actual power, it's just making the game easier. You say that high energy people is one of the reasons you keep out of voice calls? Okay. Because you feel high energy people, I wouldn't say destroy the call, but takes your energy away, I guess. At least that's the reason why. I do like just the loudness. Okay. I mean, I do like high energy streamers. They kind of have to, you know, depend on who the streamer themselves are. Like, what's it called? Jared, the 8-bit drummer, is really good at it. And for some reason, just, you know, watching his stuff give me, you know, energy back, because that's just how he manages to be. That's actually energy straight out. Yeah, I definitely get that feeling. Oops, I was just wondering if I could jump up with this and grab it, but no, I can't. You can't mid-air grab the ladder, unfortunately. What if I'm on the ground and I jump and then try to take the ladder? Oh, wrong button. Would like to put it down. Yeah, you can't pick the ladder up while mid-air. Oh well. But yeah, I definitely get that feeling. Okay, Cola. See you in a bit. I need to add head pats. I guess I technically could do it right now. Do you want to make it a thing we do now? Figure out how to do right here on stream? Yes, we technically could. It shouldn't be too hard. I just need to open VTube Studio. I think I just need to open VTube Studio. At least. But I may need to set up Mix It Up bot for some of this. Maybe it's better suited off stream. You have no idea how, but you just use chats for pads then. I mean, it's super easy. It should be fairly easy to make it a redeem. I should just have to enable. It's technically already enabled the API for VTube Studio. And I think Mix It Up, but actually just added a plain, what do you call it, direct integration, and then I could create the redemption through Mix It Up bot. And then just tell Mix It Up bot to contact VTube Studio about putting a patting hand on my head. At least that's what I think would be the progress. Next time then there's a surprise for others. Well, unless I make a clip out of it and tell people about this, then it's not. What if I want to make a clip out of it? Now, let's make it just a surprise for those who aren't here. Make it a surprise then. I should really put this in my task thingamajig. Let me just real quickly open Asana just so I can make a note about this. Making a note here. Wait, this is not the Portal song. See, load project, VTuber work. You can't see any of this. I'm keeping it hidden from you. VTube Studio. Add headpads. There we go. It is now noted in my worktionary. In my after do-tionary. Basically, yeah. It is a very trendy idea. Do watch out. Do not pet the horns. They are pointy. Pet the horns at your own responsibility. No horniness guaranteed. Guess you might say it was to horn out my skills. Sorry, that was a bad pun. I'll leave that one at the table. Oh, I haven't washed the outside, that's why. I've been thinking about what other calm games I could play aside from Power Wash. I have one. It's not a train simulator, but It's like train management kind of game. Little Metro, I think it's called. Maybe I should just make that a one-off or something at some point. I do know what I want to play after Bayonetta. I think I've already mentioned it. It's called Ghost Runner, I think. It's basically well, it is a cyberpunk game. But it's got more, how do you call it, limitations, because it's sort of like a platformer challenge kind of game. But that will be after Bayonetta. I do look forward to Breath of the Wild 2. That is definitely one I probably most likely will be playing on launch, I think. Whenever launch is. It should be next year if I remember correctly. I've also been thinking about a replay of Elden Ring, but I'm not so sure that I want to do a replay. It would have to be like a, what do you call it, a challenge run. I do still also want to do a completion run on Dark Souls 3 because that's the only Dark Souls that I do not have all the achievements for. But I guess that is the future thinking. If I'm going for the Sunbro challenge, what is the Sunbro challenge? Because there's like 150 bajillion challenges in Dark Souls. To get all three Dark Souls at 100%. I mean, it depends on how you define 100%, I guess. But like, if it's just all the, what's it called, the Dark Souls achievements in 1, 2, and 3, then yeah, I guess I'm technically going for the Sunbro challenge. I mean, I technically already have 1 and 2 of that down. It is 100. Okay, all the achievements. I guess we are going for the Sunbro challenge indeed. So there's the big question though. Does the alternate versions of Dark Souls 2 and the alternate versions of Dark Souls 1 count as part of the Sunbro challenge? Because in that case, I'm missing 2 games. That would namely be, what's it called? Dark Souls 1 Remastered and the base Dark Souls 2 game. So I think at this point, maybe it's a bit unfair because some people wouldn't be able to get Prepared to Die edition anymore. Because I believe it's not for sale unless you like get a key or something. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Yes. But I guess that is technically a yes. Oh no, the OG DS1 game is Lord of Sunlight, and if you take all 5 DS games, it earns you the title of Dark Sigil. Okay. I didn't know this was a thing, but I guess I should see if I could get a copy of what's it called, Dark Souls 2 with no DLCs then also just to round out the whole thing, because then you can have freaking 5 what's it called, what is it called, 5 of the I can't remember what it's called anymore. The Dark Sign rings on your profile on Steam. You can get the OG DS2 with DLC when it's on sale. You can get it for like €10. That is cheap. I don't know. I mean, I don't wanna. I mean, I have Scholar of First Sin, but like on Steam, that's a separate thing. It's really a whole new experience. Okay. Yeah, because Scholar of First Sin changed everything in terms of enemy placement and so. Because apparently people complained that it was way too easy. Which is kind of weird. I think Elden Ring may actually be the easiest Dark Souls game at this point. It's at least the one with the highest, I say Dark Souls game, but it's technically a new franchise, but everyone is considering it part of the Dark Souls franchise, so no. There's an early area where the Knight of Hades is just chilling. I was like, this wasn't in Scholar of the First Sin. Okay. I mean, from what I've heard, base Dark Souls 2 is a lot better than the full version of what's it called? Than the full version of Scholar of First Sin. But I guess we'll try to see if I can acquire. It should be easy, though. I'd probably wait for that sale, yes. I guess I have to get remastered as well, then, at some point. if we're going for that. So I think that definitely has to be on a sale or something at some point. Just get a sip of water. What are you talking about? Well, that's an opinion of taste, but Dark Souls 2 will always be a favorite of all of them because of the story. Okay. I mean, I suppose the core story doesn't change between Scholar of First Sin and the base one. Though I guess the Scholar of First Sin is actually the full story because you also get, what's it called? The words from the scholar himself. That kinda supposedly smoothes out a lot of the story. That being said, I mainly just see what's it called, the 3 Dark Souls games as like connected stories. So to me, that's more like a like full interconnected story to some degree. Well, Aldia is in the OG game, but not as a huge, but not as a boss fight. Okay, so he does show up in the first game, like out of the bonfires. He does, but he's just not a boss fight. Is that what you're telling me? Maybe a little disappointing that that's the only change. Okay. I mean, I guess the Scholar of First Sin did also come with the enemy placement changes and what is the word? It is a bird. The enemy placement changes and I believe some boss changes as well. So I will say that the enemy placement in Scholar of First Sin is kinda terrible. Or at least that's my experience. I hope we do get what's it called, Demon Souls on PC one day. That would be fantastic, because I have no option to playing it. I don't think I will be able to afford a PS5 at any point soon. But if I think I should choose, probably I would rather have Bloodborne actually. That being said, maybe Sony is holding Bloodborne hostage at the moment. Because that game actually deserves a remake now that we've had, what's it called? Both DS1 and what's it called? Demon Souls remade. I wanted Bloodborne on PC, both for the better frame rate, but also because you're a sucker for Lovecraftian story. I see. That makes me think of one particular tabletop game. House of Madness, I think it's called. That I really liked. Unfortunately, there's no, how do you call it, way to just play House of Madness. But it is basically a co-op tabletop sort of what do you call it, Lovecraftian detective game. And I really liked it, especially with the whole tablet integration, because it was like, you know, integrated into a tablet and you could sort of but I guess you could technically play it online if you had a camera on the board at all time and just plugged the app into, I don't know, some kind of virtual environment. And then the GM would move the characters for people, because most of the game is just people talking together and trying to figure out the mystery. It might be in Tabletop Simulator since it have a tablet in it. Well, I say tablet, but like the tablet is technically when you play a session, in order to not have like, because you can sort of, you know, have group dynamics where you both play together, but you also play against each other. But it is, you are supposed to sort of solve the mystery together. And the tablet sort of runs the whole scenario as, you know, as a game, as the game master. And it has, you know, recorded voice lines in it for both the beginning and the end of the scenario, both the what's it called? I believe you can find a call of madness. Well, this one is called House of Madness. Wonder, can I bring it up in a browser real quick? Okay, maybe I shouldn't use Firefox because that has all my private browsing history stuff. House of House of Madness. No? Tabletop. Oh, you can actually buy it on Amazon. Mansion of Madness? Yeah, it's called Mansion of Madness. My bad. I was mixing this one up. But it's basically like when you start out, the board is really, really small. And then you add more... well, I found it on what's it called, on Google search. I guess I can show it off here if I just get an image. Open picture in new, and I should be able to, if I do, is this one? Yeah, there it is. But this is basically the game, so you have dice and you get like a character, and you start like the whole play space board is divided into like chunks, and you sort of enter on just one chunk, and that's the whole thing. You can see you can pass through doors and stuff like that to get to other rooms. and the board will sort of open up and become larger and larger as you play. I'm gonna just hide that one. Try Mansion of Madness tabletop simulator in Steam. Okay. Steam. Where are you? I'm over here. I get 0 results. Oh, Google search. No worries. Mansion of Madness Ultimate Setup. Steam Community Host. Steam Store. Ah, that's actually there. Oh, so you can actually play Mansion of Madness on here. Oh. This might actually be... Huh. It's a little bit weird that it shows up as... what do you call it? As free. And then you have like DLC. Tabletop Simulator have a lot of games. Your favorite is Betrayal at House on the Hill. Okay. I see. But yeah, I really like this one. The friend I played it with had like the full, what do you call it? He had the physical tabletop game. Yeah, there's a real game of what's it called, of a Mansion of Madness. This is how I, figured it out, learned about it, because a friend had it and he brought it over and we played it for... Some of these scenarios can take hours. I think we played one for like 12 hours and I was like, let's not do that again anytime soon. This was fun and we ate a lot of pizza, but please, let's not do this again anytime soon. Thank you very much. It was a really fun scenario though. Not the board game, but a video game. I mean, you asked me to Google it? Sound like decent. We took like 4 hours for one fight in Betrayal on House of the Hill. Okay. But yeah, this Mansion of Madness is like, how do you put it? It is... like Descent. Did I just read Descent as decent? Did I just... Yeah, I didn't know either that there was thanks for the head pats. I didn't know either that there was a Mansion of Madness video game. I thought I was looking at the, at the one for Tabletop Simulator. But I guess I wasn't. I was looking at an actual video game. But yeah, I guess there's. I mean, it makes sense because the whole narration and stuff in the physical game, it costs like probably a lot of money. So they wanna you know, spread the audience as much as they can by, you know, but there are a lot of Mansion of Madness edition for Tabletop Simulator. Okay, I guess they put it in their own video game, and then they also put it in Tabletop Simulator because a lot of people have Tabletop Simulator. Like, for some reason, it gave me the game when I googled. Can I go back and see? There's a Steam community post, but I don't see a game. Oh, I see now. More like the community created it via mods, like when they made Danish Matador. Okay, I didn't know they made Danish Matador, but hey, this looks pretty cool. Looking at yeah, it is just a mod, and it is the second edition ultimate setup, the one I actually played. Danish wienerbrød, no. Matador is what do you even call it? What's it called in what's the English equivalent of Matador? The game, the board game. But yeah, enjoy your luck, Cola. Yeah, it's the Danish version of Monopoly. Monopoly. Enjoy your luck, Cola. The Danish version of Monopoly. I don't know where I was going with that. There was a joke here. It went over my head. I know I was the one who made the joke, but it went over my head. Oh, and this part of the playlist. Ah. But yeah, it would be kind of cool if I could maybe find a crew to play that with, I think. Now that I actually see we have the option. Well, now I want to find a crew and play it with. But maybe we'll wait a bit with that. Maybe on next year's thing. If I have Tabletop Simulator, I don't have it now. But it doesn't sound, what do you call it, horribly expensive, I imagine. I'ma just look in Steam because okay, yeah, that might be a bit hard. EP2, how are you? How are you doing today? It was a pun. I don't know why I can't make my model smile correctly today. It's bonking. How about me? I am lazy. We're talking tabletop simulator stuff. And I found out that a game that I really wanted to play with people is actually on tabletop. So I might try see if I can figure out something for that at some point. And we've been washing the playground. Yes. Playfully. Oh yeah, I cleared out some people from my sub badge thingamajig, so you now also have what's it called? How do you call it? That badge. I found a badge. There we go. Took me a moment. I think you noticed that one last time you were here. Found out that the person, like I guess I cleared out 3 people. 3 of the people who had founder badges on my channel, they had watched a total of 23 minutes of stream. 3 people, founder badges. So I was like, yeah, I'ma just take them out of that system. You didn't notice, but you were subbing because you wanted to sub, not for any fancy badges. I know, it's just... I know. It's just... You're the first one to sub after I, you know, became a VTuber. And the people who I basically don't know, who held on to like 3 badges. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just remove those. I don't even know who they are. They haven't spent time here. Why do they have badges? I don't know. How did they manage to get them? I don't know either. That was like the mentality. That I went for. Washing. It is a wet stream. Please don't take that out of context. Oh, boy. Please. Too late. God dang it. Well. So what are you doing tonight? Washing the playground. That's water. Playground water. No, it is not sweat. Or other things. Ooh. The Solder remix is bouncy. Seems like the towers are done soon, which means I missed a spot, do you think? It's most of the playground. EP2. It's most of the playground. It's most of the playground, I can confirm. On the half of the roof I was on. Fine, I'll go take a look. I don't know, I don't see it. Guess you'll have to ask Rufus in the future. Still missing a spot somewhere. I mean, the game does tell me. Just gonna, you know. Yup. Oh, I think I know where I'm missing. That's the spot that I'm missing, but it's inside. I wonder if I can go with a wider. There we go. Now there's no spots left. Guess that means I have to wash the floor. What's you doing? I already made that pun, sorry. Don't know if we can already afford the next power washer, but I think we need like 2 more stars to get it. And the white one isn't super consistent when washing. I just use green, I think is good. Oh yeah, you can use this mode where you can that is the thing. What are you doing? I'm playing on the ground. What are you playing on the ground? Washing. ton. Sorry, that was... If you laughed at that one, thank you very much. I'll be here most of the night. Well, not most of the night, but still for a while longer though. Yosh. Yosh. What are crackers? Very dry. No, they're wet. Should I stop with the bad puns now? Are they a bit too much? Keep going. I crack some smiles. It's your punishment for turning up. Oh no. Send help. And I don't know, a burn heal or something. I mean, I did make a redeem for puns, but like, they're practically free, so you don't need the redeem for puns. I guess puns were heating up. We should need to use a burn heal. Oh no. Well, hopefully I'm not burning any bridges with these puns, I hope. We'd have to call, you know, the fire brigade if that was the case. Also, I missed 69% cleaned. Just want to put that out there. Oh hey, I cleaned the blue floor. Okay. I cleaned the yellow floor, okay? I guess you could say we're flooring it. It is flawless. I mean, technically it's not flawless because, you know, it's, we do still have ground under our feet, but you know what I meant, I hope. You better not be doing the floors. Yeah, that one's a stretch. Stop walking up. There we go. It was so bad, I got stuck on the ladder. The pun was awful. I don't know. I feel like it was a bit flawed. Just saying. I guess you could say we're not feeling quite the flawed of enthusiasm for those puns. Yeah, I know it's only getting worse, chat. You need a round floor for okay, that one's completely lost on me. I have a feeling what it was, but that pun has left my, it has entered my brain and then it has left again. Just, you know, as a middle stage thing. Just in, yeah, bye, 2 brain cells, bye. A round of applause, floors. I'm sorry? You've lost me again. I'm sorry, Pichu. You've lost me again. I would say I flushed it down the drain with all this water. He can talk. I can do more. I can pontificate. That is a Futurama quote, by the way. And a pun, I think. A good pun is one you don't have to explain, and yet it is still funny. Or not funny. But still understood. At least so I believe. It's okay if you don't agree. That is just how I pontificate. It's how I ponder things. That's why you explain all your puns, they aren't funny. I mean, they're probably funny once you explain them. There could be puns that are only funny when you explain them, I guess. A pun is the most funniest when it writes itself. Or maybe not. I don't know. I love puns, bad or good. Or something like that. Yosh. Puns that write themselves. Is that why witches and wizards are good at puns? I'm not sure I understood that one. Sandwiches? I think I dropped a needle here. But it was quite prickly. There was no pun. Then what did you do? What did you do? Which ones are you going for? You have to tell me. You asked the question. I don't know what would make. In that case, why would a wizard be good at puns? Like, what exactly makes a wizard good at puns? Like, why would wizards and witches be good at puns? What makes them write themselves? Or is it because they wrong themselves all the time? I'm not following. EP2. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the question. Like, I don't see why they would be. Oh, you were more focusing on they write themselves because magic and make pens write things without the wizard using their hands. Yes, but I mean, the wizards and witches are still, you know, technically the ones writing. Like, the pen, when you cast such a spell, it's usually because you wanna avoid the hassle of having to, you know, move the pen yourself, but you know, they don't do it to not write. Right? See, that was a pun that wrote itself. They do it to avoid writing. Right? Right, left? Anyway. I think we are awash with puns at the moment, and I mean, that is a good thing to be awash with puns, but I did not expect it in this kind of weather. Anyway, more washing. Where wash we? We wash right here. You might say, wash up. After you, when you've had dinner. That moss is stuck, but now that moss is gone. I guess you could say I must ask for it to leave politely. It's not exactly sliding out of here. It is getting the kitchen sink and a wash. I wish to be awash with new ideas for puns. Just don't put it in the wash cycle. Hey, yellow floor circle is now actually yellow. They're both called yellow floor circle, but they're not separated by anything but their physical placement. Okay. Do we need a pun counter? Or maybe we should just add them all as quotes. Which reminds me, I completely forgot adding myself to Tatsuo's yearbook thingy. Oh well. It is too late now. We'll get him next year, Tiger. I still have time. Huh. I mean, it's the 21st for me now. Should I just go do that now? He extended it. Let me just check how far he extended it. And then put a task for it. You'll double check. I'll play. Okay, I like that plan. Thanks, Pichu. I don't know about link protection stuff, but I don't know, poke me on Discord or something. What shall we call this mission? I mean, I already named the stream The Night's Wash. I really like the original Game of Thrones until, well, the weirdness in like the final season. I didn't particularly much like the sort of, well, weirdness that ended up going down. I'm not sure if that's actually, I think George R.R. Martin said that that was not the end he is going to write, but again, he's not finished that story for a long time now, so it's gonna blast off this moss here. I'll just get a quick water. I'm having a bit of a thirst. I can feel. So far, I have not liked House of Dragon at all. It feels pretty much just kind of retreading, like in sort of, if you look at story progression, feels like kind of retreading just Game of Thrones again. It has done some things different, but like, I don't feel like it's been enough to, you know, sate my interest. So I don't even know if I want to watch season 2 yet of House of Dragon. And yeah, I get it. It's hard to sort of lift it, especially if looking back at, you know, the quote-unquote good seasons, or at least the seasons that I felt like I enjoyed from original Game of Thrones. It is hard to live the story, you know, after the good parts, or at least what I consider the good parts of original Game of Thrones. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I doubt I'll watch season 2 of that. I mean, I might if Dragon Mom demands that we watch House of Dragon, and I guess I will. We are rewatching, or at least I'm rewatching Overlord with her right now, so that's at least good. Though at first, I must admit, it kind of felt like one of those shows that I felt was really good, but I couldn't watch it with her because, well, let's just say Albedo in the early episodes is very, very, I should remember my buttons. She is very, So, yeah. But it seems like so far she is actually enjoying Overlord. And I really liked especially the latest season of Overlord. I can't wait to get next season of that. One show that I'm pretty sure I won't ever watch with her is Nagatoro-san, which I believe comes back next season. Good show though. I liked how it went from, how do you call it, first episode, they became like weird, awkward friends. And at the end of season 1, their relationship actually became, how do you call it? Yeah, it's really great. But let's just say, the writer is very on the nose with putting it out there, which is why I'm not confident I want to watch this with my mom, Dragon Mom. But I do like their dynamic. I think their dynamic is like at the end of season 1, their dynamic is really, really cute, and they are a very unlikely couple, but let's just say I'm rooting for Senpai here to actually score himself a hot school girlfriend. Though again, I think it is what you call an unlikely romance comedy, so they probably won't ever go out. I saw the original concept of Nagatoro-san, and oh boy, yeah, that's basically in line with the author's what do you call it, modus operandus, because the writer of Nagatoro-san is what's it called? They are, I can't remember their gender, but they are pretty much just you know, a hentai doshi mangaka. Dynamic is very cute. Senpai is still a bit apprehensive of Nagatoro, but they clearly like each other. Yeah, very much so. But yeah, the original concept of Nagatoro-san is way out there. We're talking the more hard stuff. I don't think it's, how do you put it, legal to mention that here on Twitch, even under the adult tag. Oh, well, I did say I did put the stream in, what do you call it, plus 18 mode, all streams. So I think maybe I should also tag the stream that way. Well, as weird as the art club president was, she's still cute too, I guess. I mean, she's very I find her very she takes her thing serious, or rather she takes art so serious it's almost ridiculous. The art club president. She is out there, you don't say. I believe her character archetype has a name. But basically the kind of character archetype that takes everything in their subject serious. But I can't remember what it's called. Pretty much, Pichu, pretty much, yeah. She had the booba. And that was how she became, you know, the grandstand president of the art club. The one who could go professional artist one day. Or the one who strives to be professional high class artist, I suppose is the way of putting it. I've seen a meme. What's it called? There was a meme where you have all the what's it called, characters on like, or rather next to them. And it's like Nagatoro is, or rather you see, what's it called, the biggest girl in class, she's like okay, and then the second one is like just the two letters, or rather it's just like full key, I think, and then the next one is like okay, and then there's Nagatoro who's just like K, and then underneath is the president, and she's understandable. That was funny to me. You know what, I'ma just real quick throw it in memes, because why the heck not? Over on the Discord. Real quick, because I can. I know I have this one here. I want to throw it in memes because I can. Should be here somewhere. Come on. It is definitely not a meme appropriate for Twitch, I think. Where did it go? I'm pretty sure I had it. It's a little hard to see in the black and white here. Ah, there we go. Boop. Just so we have it for later, I guess. But yeah, I really like that meme because, well, that was a very understandable, yes. Oh, those are cherries, not booba. Then again, I think pretty much everyone there's a cherry. I think that's one of the innate jokes of the show. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to make it, well, you either would have to post, what's it called, Bob Ross twice. Okay, Forbo, thank you for joining, and I hope you sleep well, and I hope you have a good day tomorrow, and all those things, and yeah, good night, I suppose. Can you tell that I'm terrible at saying good night? I didn't know I had a caretaker, Pichu. And now I'm reminded that Gonmas has goodnight kisses as a redeem on his stream. Night, Forbo. I don't think I want to do goodnight kisses. Yosh. But yeah, Nagatoro is like coming back in, I can't remember, I think it was January. It could also have been, what do you call it, Q2. So that's like one I'm waiting for, and I'm definitely going to enjoy it. I accidentally spied a bit in the manga, a bit of the manga, so I have a small idea of one of the things coming up in season 2, which is a bit unfortunate, but I'm hyped nonetheless, I guess. I want to see if they actually manage to become a couple. So I think it's fairly obvious from the whole comedy aspect and unlikely couple aspect that they won't. Heck, I don't even know if they should. If you think about it, yeah, he did do those two things. I mean, I'm pretty sure he... I mean, I don't know about, what's it called, I don't even know what to use. Well, I don't even know if yeah, her buttons. I guess that's the word we'll use. I mean, I don't know if he knows that what's it called? He touched his. He didn't mean to either. Neither of the times he meant to do so. But like the first one, I don't even think that he knows he did. Like when he touched her booba in the anime, I'm pretty sure he still don't know that that's why he got slapped in the face for it. But like, anyway, it's clean 96%. I didn't miss it when it was the other way around. I mean, I did miss the other way around. You saw the bun on the floor afterwards? Yeah, but you know, he's the main character, so maybe, you know, denser than a neutron star in this case, and just be like, why is the bun on the floor now? I can't remember if that was the case. Or if he realized. I mean, he did declare her premium bread. So, yeah. Nagatoro is indeed, premium bread. Very premium. Premium bun. He was wrong too. I mean, I can't remember. But like, I think one of the other jokes sort of packed in there is that it may be true that it is quote-unquote premium bread, but most of the time people can't actually tell the difference between the premium bread and the not premium bread. I mean, I guess he did note the sudden change and difference, but he did declare her premium bread. Oh yeah, that part. I remember that now. The other bun, the actual bun. I can't wait for the ending of the story, and it's gonna be, Mom, how did you meet Dad? Well, kid, we've been together since high school. Yeah. Now I want to rewatch Nagatoro. For some reason, I don't know if I mean, I did already mention this, but for some reason this season, the big name animes is not really what's, you know, driving me forward. Like, I don't go, hey, it's Chainsaw Man Day, I gotta go watch Chainsaw Man. Or, hey, it's My Hero Aka and Spy Family Day, I have to watch them right as they come out. I basically don't. I'm like, hey, it's what's it called, that one with the tiny cat girl and the big talking sword. That's the one that's, you know, for some reason is making my day today, a week these days. Where is this one part? We have to find Climbing Pole God. These are the monkey bars. This is the climbing pole, and these are the gods. So it should be, there it is. But yeah, for some reason, big name animes aren't, like, I am still watching them, you know, at some point, but like they're not the driving force that makes me go, hey, I want to go watch anime now. No, it's the one with the cat girl. I can't remember something. It has Ken in the name because that's sword, I believe, in Japanese or something. Slide God. It's that one. Yep. Yep. Apparently people are the haven't still even started Chainsaw Man. I really liked the first episode. It was really good. I enjoyed it a ton. First episode, and I still, you know, enjoy the episodes afterwards. Low tower wall. Seems like it's this one, or maybe on the outside. No, one of these. But like, it is also, you know, the popular anime of the season. And sometimes when an anime is the popular one, watching it becomes what do you call it? Wouldn't say problematic, but you feel kind of miffed because everyone talks about the popular anime, and you kind of feel like everyone is saying it's so good, it's so good, it's so good, and you just kind of feel like it's, you know, they're overhyping something that is indeed good, but it's not, you know, you don't want to give it the 5 gold stars. It's more like a 4.3 or something like that. Tedious? I'm not sure if tedious is the word. Tower's Port Strut. It's like this sensation that everyone is kind of how I feel a little about Pokemon, except I feel that my feelings on Pokemon are, you know, kind of how a lot of people actually feel about Pokemon. How do I put it? Like, yeah, Pokemon, I have a bit of an issue with Pokemon. There's a reason why I, as it is now, I don't know how to feel about, you know, Pokemon, because I see the game, but the changes are so marginal from, you know, the things that I liked, and it feels like either Game Freak is, you know, forced to just push a new title out the door without actually having the time to make, you know, large changes or changes that would improve the experience, so to speak. They basically, they either don't have the time or don't want to spend the time on actually, you know, making a more innovative, a more fun-focused Pokemon. It's a repeat, like a really hard locked repeat of what I had when, you know, when I first played Pokemon back in 1997, except it's in 3D and there are, you know, not a whole lot new going on. Like, I think one of the big things that was noted about Scarlet and Violet is that, hey, now a handful of Pokemon have just finally gotten actual, you know, animations for certain attacks, you know, side groups of Pokemon, and I feel like they should already have these side things. This should already have been a thing that they should have started working on when they migrated to 3D Pokemon. Like, the whole reason thrown out there to why Sword and Shield couldn't quote-unquote look pretty was because they quote-unquote had to redo all the models. And it was found that they may indeed have redone all the models for the Pokemon. The problem is, the models that was in Sword and Shield don't even look better than the ones they had prior. They spent a whole lot of energy just revamping all the Pokemon models and arguably removing a bunch of animations from Pokemon models that they already have, just to make Sword and Shield look infinitesimally small better, unnoticeably better. instead of, actually doing what they're doing now when you compare Sword and Shield to what's it called? When you compare Sword and Shield to what's it called? Scarlet and Violet. But again, it feels like it is a side effect of what's it called? The Pokemon Company demanding a new big Pokemon game every 2 years, which is ridiculous. Like any other any other company, like Nintendo themselves, if what's it called, Scarlet and Violet's current condition was what Nintendo themselves had on the table for a game, I'm pretty sure Nintendo themselves would have gone, yeah, no, that one's delayed by another year. Like, but no, that's not how Pokemon Company or Game Freak does things, apparently. Because I want to be excited about Pokemon, I want to be happy about Pokemon, I want to feel like I have a new upgraded experience for what I had when I was a kid, but when I was a younger dragon. But that's not what I see. It's not what I feel when I look at things. I just see a marginally changed, altered repeat of what I had. Does that make sense, or am I completely off the rafter here? That is... It's not, a slander. Tetsuo's your book? Okay. I'm probably gonna try see if I can get in on that. I still have to figure out what quote I want in the book, though. 26th, okay. That is like a whole half a week. You get what I mean, though? Okay. That is good to hear, because I know amongst the people who love Pokemon, that is quite the controversial opinion, and yeah, I understand why people love Pokemon. It's just I feel like the things that I loved about Pokemon is like, why would I buy a new game if I could just go back and play Gen 1 again? And it would be, an experience that is just, only marginally worse by, comparison. And yeah, there's been new things, because, I mean, still hurts because you grew up with Pokemon and they kept you happy while growing up. But we all have different opinions and viewpoints. Yeah, I get that. Like, I played Pokemon in Gen 1 and I played Pokemon in Gen 2 and I played Pokemon again in Gen 3. It's just, I didn't want to go back to Pokemon after Gen 3. There was nothing in Gen 3 that made me feel like I was playing a better experience than what Gen 2 had offered. It's like going into Gen 3 of Pokemon, it was, for me, it felt like, I was not playing a new game. I was just repeating what I already had. I spent money on, something I already had. And yeah, I understand people love Pokemon. And, theoretically, I love Pokemon. I'm still enticed by the idea of Pokemon. It's just a little hard to be, happy about Pokemon when it's It's the experience I had in the 90s and in the 2000s with Pokemon. And like heck, even like the new big thing for, what was it? Like one of the new big things at least was the TMs on our, you know, at least one of the new big things for, I don't know if it was Sword and Shield unique, but at least that was one of the things that was mentioned as the big unique thing, was the TMs were now reusable. And that feels like such a small thing. It could have been a Gen 2 thing. Yeah. Black and White was the first game to do that. Okay. I mean, I know why they took it away in I hear Black and White was apparently the goodest one from those who were like fanatic about it, but anyway. I still have to find this tower support strut. It's supposed to be one of these. There it is. That's what we've been running around after. Like, I know why they took it away in, what's it called, in Scarlet and Violet. That's because they want people to craft them instead. Which is actually a pretty good idea. Like, I think that's a good addition. It just feels like, when I look at it from the outside, it feels like Game Freak is being pressured to do, you know, a lot, and not actually have time to polish their games. Which is sad, because it keeps the Pokemon games from being the good one, the magic one, as I remember it from my childhood. Not exactly, because that's impossible. The Pokemon from my childhood is impossible to achieve today, I think. I need 40 stars for the Prime Vista. Well, we're buying the Urban X to you. We're buying the Urban X to you, yes. And we're also equipping it. There we go. Now we can wash a little harder. But yeah, I get why you feel like my opinion hurts, because you grew up with it. And I mean, technically I grew up with it too, I guess. But it's not that I think you're wrong for liking Pokemon. Like, you get to enjoy Pokemon again, and that makes, you know, the game's good. And I get to not enjoy Pokemon even though I wanna. So, to be fair, I think it is me who is losing out. I am missing out on Pokemon. And I think you're not. Anyway, sorry about the downer subject, and you just got the stream notif now. Incord? Is that you? Is my Discord being a weirdo? Or what? Also, hi Toasty, how are you doing? Welcome to the night's wash. Just you, you guess. Okay, I mean, looking at when it got posted in Discord, it was what, 9:45 my time. So it actually is on time. Hey Joey, first I'ma do the hydrate. The fog-loving frog. The frog-loving fog. I'm not sure. Also, Oya Oya. Oya? Oya Oya. Is that a frog I see? What are you doing here? Oya? Also, hi Joey. How are you? I don't know, I feel like maybe my setup is cutting out the E sound on Joey for some reason. You're tired? I am lazy. I went and helped my dad, and then my dad was like, yeah, no, let's not do this. And then I went home again. And that was my day. Also, I saw you got your new model reveal. That's pretty cool. It's really cute. I like it. Very cute. Cute frog. Also, I'ma just do the thing real quick because I can and I wanna. Please check out Joey. He is a cute frog. Yeah, and the other one. Unfortunately, my mods are not in right now. If you do not know Joey Fabian, he is a very adorable frog VTuber. And if you like adorable VTubers, you should watch Joey when he does things. Yes, Toasty is also adorable. He's very toasty. You might say that he's quite the bread. No, wait. That doesn't work. If you like adorable VTubers, you will not only love, but also that is not the right button. Back to gaming. Yeah. I mean, hi. But yes, Joey is very adorable. This card is washed. No, you. Joe, you. E. Amphibian. I don't know, this pun went places. So saving 7k points for no reason. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Seb. 7k points. Okay, I know what 7k points is. We're washing this house now. Also, we got the new washer. Wash, should we call it? So how are you guys doing, Joey and Toasty? How has your Sunday been? Has it been sunny? I can tell you mine has been. It's been heckin' cold. At least outside. At least I've been lucky and staying warm inside. Wait, didn't I already ask? I mean, if I already asked, please disregard my message. But... yeah. Alright, I can put it up on more power now and still get things because it's a powerful washer. It's a more powerful washing machine. But put the house in. Man, this house is dirty. Well, apparently this is all caused by a giant volcano somehow. Can we see? Yeah, you can see the volcano from here. You can't wash it though. Just... but can I wash someone else's house? No. Okay. Let's go back to washing it. Back to Washington. Yush. Oh yeah, I guess if you're using the Twitch TV notifications to keep up with when the streams go live, you might not get notified on time because, well, apparently it requires a lot of power to, what do you call it? Notify everyone about everyone when everyone is going live, and that slows down the whole notification system because, well, there's a lot of people on Twitch at this point if you haven't noticed. But yeah, that's why it's slow, which is why paying attention to Discord is better if you wanna, I don't know exactly when I go live. An unfortunate countermeasure, I guess. Just shuffle the music because I realized it started over. There we go. So yeah. I guess technically I am setting up Discord events. And I don't know if you can take those Discord events and apply them to your calendar, if that's something you actually want to do. I mean, I use my calendar for a lot of things, but keeping track of streams is not one of them actually, so it's a good feature to have, I guess. That or maybe it's just Discord telling you about when an event starts. If you tell Discord you're interested, I'm not sure about that. Because I have turned off all the sound alerts on my Discord, because that's what I do. Just thoughts, really. I do remember that I might have to delay publishing this week's schedule. So I'm supposed to get a call from quote-unquote management. But I can, I suppose, relieve you with the fact that there will be no Monday stream this Monday, at least. I don't know if I'll actually make Monday streams, because Monday streams are like, Monday is a day sort of dedicated to what's it called, local social activities that Dragon Mom tends to drag me out for. Haha, double dragon fun. So just keeping people in the loop, really. Since it was, you know, something that came up just now. I saw some clips from, what was it? Is it pronounced Konbayashi's Maid Dragon, I think? And it's actually made me want to watch the show now. They were some very cute clips. Maybe I should just find a day and binge the whole thing. Kobayashi's Maid Dragon. Okay. I was not sure about how the whole lettering for Kobayashi was put together. Heck, I may still even be saying it wrong. Guess we could take this part. So nice with the stronger washer just blasting things away now. I do also need to catch up on Made in Abyss, because second season of that came out like, well, last season. Okay, Pichu, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting and stuff. I hope you sleep well, and talk to you later, and I appreciate you too. I guess you can have a Pichu. Yeah. I was thinking about trying to invent greetings for everyone, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. So I might not and just do it when people have names that inspire it or something. So it feels a bit like favoritism, which is not really the goal. I don't know. There we go. At the same time, I saw Ari has been working on doing what is it, unique entry gifts for people. Where when certain people enter, then they get a gift that plays. Kind of think that it's a neat idea, which is why I wanted to do the whole, how do you call it, greeting thing. But I'm not super sure about it. Oh no, I guess I washed Windows 95. I guess we can't get rid of it now. Have to keep it. Installing Linux when? I tried using Linux. I ended up, using Linux as my daily driver. I ended up going back to Windows. Not that there's anything wrong with, daily driving Linux. It's just, it's kind of hard to actually just, do. Not that it's, a bad OS. It's just kind of, how do you put it? All my apps were easier to access in the long run on Windows. And the whole process of figuring out of how to get an app to work on Linux was, at the time at least, not super serviceable in like easy way. Mind you, this was, I think, must have been prior to 2015. May have been in the 2010s. have been even later than that. But yeah, it did not go well with trying to daily drive Linux at that point, at least. And I kind of haven't tried it since. Seems like we... Oh. Guess I'm missing one window, and then we've hit all the windows. Unless there's a window on top of the roof. Oh. I guess technically you're supposed to begin from the top. Like, if it was real life and you wanted to make your work easier for yourself, you would begin from the top. And then, you know, wash everything down. Instead of the weirdo approach of giving yourself more work. Kinda. Gosh. I don't think I could own a house and take care of a house. Seems like a lot of work. I'm kind of happy with just renting an apartment. I'm not... Let's just say I've had my fair share of gardening in my youth, and I don't want to go back to it. So if I ever have a yard, I'm turning it into asphalted truck stop yard. Or I don't know, a brick yard or something. A yard brick. As long as it's not Scotland Yard, I think we'll be fine. Sorry. That one was terrible. Do like this one, you know, washer just blasting off that moss like it's nothing. Yep. Wonder when 14 will have its next patch. Shouldn't be that far off, though they've done a handful of bug fix patches. So it actually might be further off than I think it is. I guess that means I have more time to do the Hildebrand quest line and the Dark Knight stuff. Did manage to get my Dark Knight up to level 40 without bothering too many people because of the what's it called, requirements for what do you call it again, the job class, no, not the job class, but the, no wait, it is the job and class quests that give you certain skills, but having said skills for doing good tanking at that level kind of require you to have the tanking skills from the quests. But at least the next quest or the next class quests are made so that I can actually get another 10 levels and still use the roulette without bothering people, because you only get one skill at level 50. You don't get one at 45. Yeah. Question is, I nearly spoke Danish. Question is when I should do the next 14 stream. Though I feel like I kind of want to wait a little with that. Maybe after I have finished Bayonetta. Maybe once I have started Ghost Runner. At least that's the plan I have at the moment. Maybe I'll just do it whenever. This house is getting clean. Almost live in it. Eat off the roof. Okay, maybe don't eat off the roof. That is probably not healthy. Probably a lot of tar in the hole. Maybe not tar. I think they use something else these days. But still not something you want on your food, I imagine. Still a good deal of roof. Oh, here. Well, that part also counts as the roof. So. About the underpart here. Ah, this too. You can see it in the top left what I'm pointing at and how much is left of washing it. I should really just get all of it. Ah, 66%. Execute orders. Execute wash 66. What you gonna do about it? I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Washing, I think. Oh, right. This is fine. Just blasting it from the hinge. Let me just get a water here. very, very pointed washing here, just casually from on top of the hinge. Still need bits and pieces around that roof somewhere. I think I have a feeling that's probably on the other side. I guess I could get on a ladder and solve this. Port over here. There we go. I swear the protagonist in this game has telekinetic powers or something like that. Just teleports the ladder. And I think later, or rather, I know later on you get, what's it called? Like scaffolding. And that teleports all the same. Like, you know, magic. A ladder. There we go, now we got the roof. It is not on fire, just roof. I guess you could call it Rufus. Rufus the Rufus. Gosh. Yoink. Just get the ladder again, just get in there nice, cozy. Watering the house so it can grow. What are you talking about? Housing decorations. What are you doing? Blasting the wall with water? What else would I be doing? In puns. Oh no, I missed 69% again. Oh well. Guess we can forget about once again making the joke. I guess it's unnice. I mean, it's still nice because it's getting washed, but... Just realized this is called a gutter. Because that's what the game called it. I need to go teleport a ladder into my hands again. Little weird you can't run with the ladder. Or jump with the ladder. Kind of in the way there. Let's put it here for a bit. But then again, I guess if you fell with the ladder, it would hurt a lot. So since you can't get hurt in this game, you can't run with the ladder. Yes, I know, weird conclusion. Whoop. %. 91. Man, I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4. We're definitely playing that one when it comes out. I still hope it's slated for next year. I don't know if you've noticed with the music and stuff, but I am kind of a big fan of Metroid and Metroidvanias. I'm thinking I want to play Hollow Knight and Blasphemous at some point on stream. Hollow Knight I haven't actually beaten yet, so that one I think is more likely. But there was new content added to Blasphemous that I want to see. And eventually see if I could also get all achievements in Blasphemous. Simply because it is such a good Dark Souls game. Or, well, Souls-like. Though it is 2D. It's very... what was it? Can't remember if it was based on. I think it was based on Spanish folklore, or it might have been what's the other country? Well, it escapes me at the moment. But it had a lot of interesting motifs, though it was quite gory, so to speak. Quite graphic. Gameplay was really good though, and music too. I mean, same goes for Hollow Knight. I'm kinda looking forward to Silk Song, but I'm thinking maybe I should beat what's it called, original Hollow Knight first before actually getting into Silk Song. But we'll just have to see if I can manage that. I'm not sure if I have the patience. Porch, fence, and a post. Oh, there's the porch fence. Well, it's not a post-it note, that much I can tell you. It's a porch fence, one thing? No? Maybe? No. There's the porch fence, and then we just need the post. Oh, it's right here, I think. There we go. All right. I don't think I can wash another one. Oh, there's a lot of messengers in my... We can round the store real quick. I have 30 stars. I'm like 10 away from being able to buy the next one. That means 2 wash missions. I have 1, which is a big house. And it's not the big house, but I think that should be enough to actually make money. Well, this one and the one after should be enough to make money for an upgraded washer. For an upgraded wash. Anyway, that being said, I want to call it for tonight. I want to do, how do you call it, late night streams now and then. It feels, I wouldn't say right, but it feels like the thing I want to do. A thing I want to do, yes. I mean, I have a chance now to raid pigs, actually. Also, why am I... Let me just real quick get rid of that thing there. There we go. Looks better. I'm not sure who else I would raid. I mean, technically I could raid Beloved 3000 or Cola Dragon. Technically Cola Dragon was here, and that's probably where I want to go out, but I kind of also would go out and hang out with pigs, so mean, it's more likely for me to have the chance at raiding Cola Dragon at a later date, because pigs will always be on what do you call it, on the late side of where my streams happen. So I think I'll go ahead and raid her. Just for tonight, because I have the chance. I should think about a raid message. What should we tell pigs when we raid her? I think we'll call her Small Cute Cat. There we go. That'll do. And I'll just copy that, post it in. Anyway, schedule post might be late for next week, simply because I'm waiting for management to get back to me about one thing, and they said they would call me Monday. That is work management. Anyway, thank you for being here, and good night. I will be back next week. Hopefully, I'm hoping I might want to try see if I can get like a Tuesday stream in. But expect me either then Wednesday or Thursday, if not. Anyway, thank you for being here, and see if I can get my buttons. Good night. I hope you sleep well. And yeah, see you later.